Dark Things I Adore by Katie Latari. Prologue. Excellent Friends. Andrea, Friday, March 16th, 2018. A smugged barking pattern. Male. My vision's pulled back into focus by a voice louder than the others in the room behind the closed doors. I blink, the water stain on the ceiling into something with sharp, defiant borders. It looks like a tree or a hand with tendrils grasping outward. I'm lying on the old couch outside of the Institute's large lecture halls, fingers laid beneath my head. The couch is ratty but comfortable, and because it's an art school, it has patches covered and saved by years and years worth of weird little fabric patches and girly embroidery jobs. Furniture Frankenstein. The lecture hall across the way is a 60-seater set aside for visiting speakers, conferences, and large workshops. Right now, faculty from across the department and disciplines are gathered in there having their second and final all-faculty meeting of the academic year. I'm out here because Max Durant is in there, my handsome professor, my dedicated mentor, Professor Durant. Professor Durant told me in class this morning that I should wait for him after the meeting. He told me he wanted to see me, that we should talk, maybe even grab dinner. I let him know he could look for me when he got out. A muffled scrape and a shuffle rise behind the door. Bags are being gathered. Friendly chatter is breaking out. I look at my phone. It's almost 6 in the evening. They were supposed to be done by 5:30. I push myself to a sitting position and look up and down the vacant hallway. It's Friday before spring break, so everyone has split. I rub my face and mindlessly check my email while I wait. Junk, spam, coupons, one message from a fellow student with the subject line, Thesis Prospectus. I put my phone away in my jacket pocket, and as I do, my fingers brush the corner of an envelope I had stowed in the all day. A letter addressed to a man I know back from an old friend. I withdraw my hand quickly and rest it on the outside of my jacket, feeling the outline of the envelope like a mite burrowed under flesh. But if the world is going out on loan, it means prime space is empty in one of the most prestigious rooms in our own gallery. Hearing his voice stirs me from my torpor. That's him, Max. My hand passes over the shape of the envelope. Harder. I'll post it tonight. Max's voice is loud and animated, even through the door. I smile. He's always wound up about some gosh dang thing. I try to listen more closely, but the crush of movement, cursings when faculty members push through the double doors, first in groups and then in groups of 3s and 4s, holding laptops and notepads under their arms, some talking about their break plans, some shaking their heads dubiously at each other as they unpacked whatever it is that they just talked about in there. Dr. Grant gives me a wave and a smile, which I return. She's only a few steps past me, a couple of colleagues at her elbows, when I hear her speak in a hushed tone. We all had the chance to make our pitches back when we first found out the world would be going out on loan. I'm not sure what makes Durant think he's some special case. I mean, the Polk room, for God's sake, she laughs. God knows we all did enough begging. Let it rest. Professor Winslow and Zapata exit right behind them, chattering clandestinely to each other and peering over their shoulders at their apparent communion inside of the seminar room. Soon everyone has exited, and inside the door at an angle I can't see, but I can hear them. Well, I have no idea who said that to you. Who in their right mind would promise that? The voice is confident, staccato of Dana Witzer. Jesus, he's hangering the head of the whole damn school. She was a professor in Max's department, painting for many years, and then was chair for a while. 5 or 6 years ago, she became the president of this place, the Boston Institute of the Visual Arts. But that was before I ever got here. I've never formally met her. A wave here, a hello there. She teaches very infrequently these days. The world will be out on loan, but that doesn't mean its spot will remain empty, she continues. That's what I'm saying. My work should go there. Artachias of Renaissance should go there. I can hear the fight in him, the thinly veiled frustration I've come to know. his eagerness and emotions well over the many months we've been working together. I've earned it. All the years I've been here, I've never made it into the polk room at all. Forget about the world spot. I know there is a precedent for faculty being shown in the polk room. You can't tell me there isn't precedent. There is precedent, yes, but faculty art hasn't been hung in the polk room in more than 10 years. It just isn't done anymore. You know that, Max. I've been here a long time, but so have you. You know how it works. She sounded tired, like this argument they've had many times before. Trust me, she sighs. Nearly every one of your colleagues has asked for that coveted spot. None of them will get it. It's not personal. We have the world, those few Picasso sketches in there, and the new Amy Sherald. I'm the Institute's more renowned faculty member. An artist, Max steamrolls her, his voice echoing down the corridor. I press my fingers to my lips, amused by his polk. It's my faculty picture you push to the front of our website during admission season every year. It's my paintings and awards that write up and reviews your feature in alumni news letters, not Oconee or Grant or Fitzenberg. I smirk. He's got some name recognition, and they use that to maximum benefit around here. It's true. But he's not the only one, and to be honest, most of his notary is 2 decades behind him, and everyone knows it, even Max. Especially Max. He was shortlisted for the Guggenheim's Hugo Boss Award in 1995 and hasn't let anyone forget about it since. Most of what he's done since have been lesser versions of those evocated works. As one of my crueler classmates puts it, Max is an artist somehow derived of himself. Max, Switzer hisses, their voices echoing into the vacant corridor. Stop this. You're overstepping. We have a full roster of dazzling, talented, and well-regarded faculty here at our school. This is not the Max Durant Institute of the Visual Arts. This is the Boston Institute. May as well be the former, and you know it. I have to cover my mouth to keep from laughing at my astonishment out loud. My eyes dart around the empty, gaping maw of the pinned black double doors. They must be just off to the side. I can imagine Max's hands on his hips, defiant, growling down at the petite, choppy-haired Switzer, who no doubt is giving him a weary look as he is giving her a ferocious one. I helped make this place what it is. I've been here 15 years. 15 years. Yeah, I know how long you've been here, my friend. I got you the job, if you'd care to remember, she sighs. I can imagine her rubbing the bridge of her nose, trying to ward off a growing headache. I hear her starting to move toward the exit. I spring up lightly and jog down the little hall a little, leaning into a dark alcove so I can watch them unseen. What a fun bit of theater Max is constructing. She breaks into the half first, followed hotly by Max. What a fucked up thing to say, Max says. You didn't get me anything. You know what I meant. I've been here for 24 years, Max. I was instrumental in getting your position here. Max starts to growl in protest, which I was happy to do because you are accredited to this institution, she says firmly, but quickly trying to heat off his anger. But this institution is also credited to you. None of us should ever forget that. Max runs his hands through his black hair. It's flecked with gray and long enough to have a handsome foppish part. He tries another tack. Think of the renaissance this place has undergone during my tenure here. Without a doubt, but you did not do it alone. It's like she's talking to a petulant child. But I'm why you managed to get your grubby little hands on a Picasso and Whirls and Sherald's in the first place. The Polk Room has exclusivity, and it has because of people like me who have worked to make this place a destination. Even you must see that. My grubby little hands. Switzer growls, her voice dropping to a something more secretive, angrier. Max, she says, with barely contained rage. We have known each other for many years, many, many years. You are somehow one of my best friends, and that is the only reason I am not going to formally reprimand you. But remember yourself, man, I am the president of this school. I am your boss, so you'd better chill the fuck out. Switzer has her laptop pressed to her side under one arm, and is pointing directly at Max's face with her other hand. Max's jaw grinds. If I don't get the world spot in the Polk Room in our own Boston Institute gallery over the summer, there will be hell to pay, and you will pay it, you. He points right at her. Is that a threat, Max? Switzer stands a little taller against his increasingly out of control tone. A wolfish smile curls into his lips. No, Dana. No, of course not. His voice softens, almost seductive and about face. He takes a breath, shakes his head out. It relaxes his countenance, makes him handsome and almost gentle again. I'm sorry, I lost my cool. He breathes in through his nose, puts his fingers on his lips. You're right, we are good friends. Excellent friends. We go way, way back. Which is why I know you will do the right thing here. Max, she groans, rubbing her eyes. I just feel that after all the time he pushes, I just feel like after all this time he pushes on, and after all I have meant to the school, my body of work should speak for itself, that if there were ever a time for this institution to make a gesture on my behalf, after all I have done to bring acclaim to this place, that time would be now. That gesture would be this. The two painters and professors look at each other. Swifter softens mutantly at Max's deep blue eyes. I know the power of those eyes, of what they can do. I barely remember to breathe. Max and I have discussed this very thing many times at this point. His work going in the Polk Room. I know what it would mean to him. Silence has fallen between them, and Switzer seems to be relenting. It would cost you nothing, he goes on, gently. Nothing but a little humility, which I know for you is asking a lot. His tone shifts sharply, venomously. Oh, Max, so close. You know what, Max, Professor Durant? Why don't you go to take a flying leap? Switzer turns away from him and storms around the corner. She completely disappeared within seconds. I look at Professor Durant, astonished at what I have just so publicly witnessed. To talk to the president of the institution that way, even if they do consider themselves friends. He looks pleased with himself. I study him in the secret moment in this hidden frame in the film reel, and I see that he is relishing the small pain he has caused her. He made her fight him, soften, and then take a sucker punch. But then the bright glimmer of pleasure on his face drops away as quickly as it came. Something stormy moves in within seconds. The pleasure of the snipe is gone. He's left only with his failure, with the empty wall in the Polk Room. He grabs the edge of a nearby table and violently lifts and slams its leg once, twice, 3 times into the floor. I jump at the noise as it echoes around the hall. He lets go, sucks in air sharply between his teeth, and pulls his hand up. It must be bleeding. He sucks on the skin beneath the thumb and forefinger. His eyes finally fall on me. Max Durant sees me. He removes his hand from his mouth and, like a mask, slides the charming smile I've come to know so well back on his face. His brow loosens its storm. His vague snarl clears. Seeing me brings him back to himself. Oh yes, Max sees me, and I see him too. And that'll conclude the prologue. But before I go, a quote from James Baldwin. Love does not begin and end the way we seem to think it does. Love is a battle. Love is a war. Love is growing up.